And then the passage is going to talk about love, and it's going to say, if you keep God's word, the love of God is perfected in you. The love of God is perfected in you. What does that perfection look like? I've got several stories about this young lady, but I only have time to share one. Friends of mine, Eric and Margie Purdick, have a daughter named Lucie. She's almost 12 years old now. But she was born with a condition called FOXP1 syndrome. FOXP1 syndrome, only 43 people in the United States have it. She is almost 12, but mentally she's like 5 or 6. She's like locked into that mentality and that emotional state. Last Christmas, they brought her to the Fort Lauderdale Christmas pageant. And they knew that Lucie could not differentiate between reality and acting. So they knew that in these scenes, if you've ever been to a Fort Lauderdale Christmas pageant, great singing and dancing and all that wonderful stuff, but when they do the story of Jesus, they really do an amazing job of showing the lashings and the beatings, and they really rough up Jesus pretty good. And they knew Lucie could not see that. She wouldn't be able to handle that. So they sat in a certain spot, and they were prepared for that moment to keep her distracted and all these things. And I'm actually going to read you a Facebook post that Margie, her mother, put after they went to this pageant and what Lucie did at this pageant. And I've yet to tell the story without choking up, so I apologize ahead of time. So here we go. I'm going to do it this time, though, I think. We'll see. She said this: "We sat in the back row of the first section. We knew during the second act that the Roman guards would be walking right behind us while beating Jesus. We were completely prepared, though. We held Lucie's ears and pulled her into Eric's chest while they walked by, yelling at Jesus and whipping Jesus. She did great. She had no clue. All smiles. Until she got a glimpse of the soldiers throwing Jesus across the stage while whipping him. And then all hell broke loose. She screamed. And then she stood up and screamed some more. At the top of her lungs, she yelled, 'Stop! You're hurting my Jesus.' We quickly tried to calm her down, but she saw an injustice and was not having any bit of it. She screamed louder and began to cry, still yelling for them to stop. I swooped her up and ran as fast as I could out the back. She was inconsolable for the next 15 minutes or so. A sweet volunteer tried to explain to her that it wasn't real. They were just actors, not realizing Lucie would not understand that. To her, that was in fact Jesus, and those were in fact Roman soldiers. She finally calmed down while the volunteer was showing her how Jesus was all better on the screens in the lobby. And then, one by one, the soldiers came through the hallway. And then all hell broke loose again. She was visibly shaken and screaming at them. 'I hate you. You're a bad boy. You are mean to Jesus. He did nothing to you.' It was really tough watching her go through that, not really understanding that they were just acting. Finally, one of the guards stopped and allowed her to yell at him. She screamed. She hit him. And then she screamed some more. He said he was sorry, and then he told her that he loved Jesus. And just like that, she was good. The sweet volunteer saw Jesus when he came out of the back and went and brought him to Lucie. She took one look at him and ran to him and hugged him. She asked if he was okay at least a dozen times. Once she was able to see with her own eyes that Jesus was in fact okay, she felt fine to go around high-fiving all the soldiers. In the car on the way home, she asked if we could pray for Jesus to feel better. And then, of course, she had to make him a get better card when we got home. This says, when his word abides in you, truly the love of God is perfected in you. You see, people have said this to me. When they've seen Lucie, they'll say, what's wrong with Lucie? What's wrong with her? And as I've watched that girl love perfectly, what are the two great commandments that are upon you and me right now? Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. I've only met one human being in my life that does that every day, and it's Lucie. So when people say, what's wrong with her? I say nothing. My question is, what's wrong with you and me? What's wrong with you and me? Because we can't follow those commands like she can. Sometimes I think we're mentally challenged because we're so distracted by things that keep us from loving properly. But she's been freed. She's been given a gift of freedom to love the way she's supposed to love all the time. She was told how policemen, if you ever get lost, policemen, will help you. Well, I don't mean to be stereotypical, but they went to a donut shop and they found cops sitting around a table in the donut shop. And a couple minutes later, they couldn't find Lucie. And then all of a sudden they see her amongst the police officers saying, "Can I pray for you?" Okay? That is having love perfected in you. Okay? She is willing to stand up to a real Roman army for Jesus. What are you doing? What am I doing? We need the love of Christ perfected in us. So we read on.